Hello. I'm just getting started, getting myself set up. So as everybody is coming on here, I am just going to get myself anointed and prepared. Essential oils are a part of my every single day life. They have been for, I think it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, my 15th year of working specific. I didn't even know what an essential oil was when I was approached by them 15 years ago. Much like maybe many of you. And it was more like a handful of years ago when things started getting real big. I'm using a roller right now, so it's pre-diluted. But then I also will put some on neat. So my love of aromatherapy. This is like a really good mirror too. Started, I don't know, within that first year and loved it. And as a nurse at that point, I wanted to use essential oils in my nursing practice in the hospital. And at that point I was a pediatric and peds ICU nurse. So I did my continuing ed on aromatherapy certification. And I worked up in Duluth at that point and traveled to the cities, and I'm using Abundance, a blend by Young Living. I put a drop of frankincense on the top of my crown, so if you got frankincense, go run and go get it, because you got time. And then I'm using transformation oil. And so got my certification so I could use them in the hospital. And I mean, you had to have a credential in order to do that. And shortly after that, I moved on for chiropractic school. So then I was able to freely use them, and I have since used them in my chiropractic practice. And what I've picked up on as a chiropractor is, you know, we're all energy, you know, and you're picking up on that. We talk about that all the time. We're all energy. We, if we're having a block in energy, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you'll feel it physically. So as I'm adjusting the nervous system, adjusting the alignment and the life back into the flow within this body, this baby, this adult, and if things are still a hiccup, they're holding, this pattern's holding, aromatherapy and color therapy have been a beautiful way for me to assist in that healing to transpire. And I first am a student of everything. There's not really anything that I do that I haven't personally went through. So if you haven't started working with essential oils and you can, like you have them, just start using them. They're just like anything. There's, you know, good shoes and there's not so good shoes. Which shoes do you want to wear on a day-to-day basis that really are going to help you run the marathon? You want the good shoes. So you want the good oils. You want the, you know, good chiropractor. You want the good books. You want the good mentors. You want the good teachers that actually mean something. And so be cautious about that, and shoot me a message if you want any more information in regards to getting a hold of some aromatherapy in your life, but also color therapy and whatnot. So why don't we, I think I have everything I need for us today, so why don't we get started with our meditation. And so sit up in your space here, and palms up in your lap. Get those eyes closed. I want you to start out. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and you'll breathe out through your mouth. And repeat that. And as you continue your breaths, we invite in those that you're wanting to invite in this space, a higher power of goodness and love and peace and understanding. These This energy might come in the form of a spirit, in an angel form, guides, entities, angels of the universe, God, your creator, what it is that you attune to. Invite that in this space, in this realm, so we can connect to a higher consciousness that is unlike any other. And as we invite in that energy to help guide us and lead us and transform us and heal us, may it also help us to understand on a level of awareness that maybe we've never had before. We invite in the miracle now. May it fill up our hearts so we know it's true, so we can speak it and own it as our own. Truth is truth is truth. No matter where you find yourself, the truth always will remain. It does not change. It does not change form. It always is the same. May we find the best way to articulate that as we move into week 6, being the miracle-minded individual. So before you open your eyes, keep in that space. And I'm going to go back by a day, and I'm going to guide you through Gabby's last meditation for day 34. It's a receiving meditation. So breathing in, invite the universe to support and guide you. Breathing out, release your desires to the care of your inner guide. Breathing in, I expect miracles. And breathing out, I will receive. Breathe in, I believe in creating possibilities for abundance. And breathe out, I will receive. Breathe in, I am patient and I trust. Breathe out, I will receive. Breathe in, I know I'm being guided. Breathe out, I will receive. We're going to go through that cycle one more time. Breathe in through your nose, inviting the universe to support and guide you always. And breathe out, releasing your desires to the care of your inner guide. Breathe in, I expect miracles. Breathe out, I will receive. Breathe in, I believe in creative possibilities for abundance. And breathe out, I will receive. Breathe in, I am patient and I trust. And breathe out, I will receive. Breathe in, I know I'm being guided. And breathe out, I will receive. As you're breathing in, trust that you've connected with the universe in intent and in flow. And believe that your answer is heard and is now being delivered towards you. Breathe in gratitude and breathe out gratitude. Thank you for all that are here right now and all that will come later on. May we know as we gather here together, we have a common thread, more common than we know, that brings us together because we all are inspired to understand more, fear less, love ourselves and those around us more with a greater understanding that we have far more in common than we ever realized. As you take your deep breath in, I want you to hold at the top of that. Hold, breathe in more, hold, breathe in more, and let it out. You can go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, so I wanted to repeat that meditation because A, it's so simple, and B, it is so powerful. And I'm sure you're getting into one of the most common questions 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, I mean, even before that was, I don't know how to meditate. Are you going to do this? And do you see that little orb? Is This is for you to understand that the miracle is when you say yes to something without understanding how. When you decide to enter your life in just being brave, not sure that you're ready, not sure you can do it, don't know what the hell you're gonna do, but you're being brave and you move forward anyway, the universe responds to brave, right? And this meditation is so powerful, but did it take a lot? No. And for those that have made it this far, way to go. Because oftentimes we can give up because we're afraid. We think we're not good enough, right? You probably have felt that, oh, I'm just going to give up. I'm not good enough. And then you're like, oh, geez, they're going to like reconnect on Saturday again. I want to keep going. And there's that still voice inside of you. I have it too. And there's the voice of truth. And even though that voice will never, ever, ever change, ever, the ego is so manipulative. It's so tricky. It's so smooth too, isn't it? And this meditation can bring you back. This last week of abundance, of talking about abundance. Anybody else feel like they were freaking out more than usual over that topic? I do. When you're shaking up your world and you are doing concrete work every day and you're committing to something new, you're committing to a new way of being, that ego can trip you up. But you've been in it a long enough time. And I think that's why Gabby put it towards the end, is you realize that what's real and what's false, right? And if you are able to, at this point, distinguish what is a false emotion, what is an ego-based emotion that's going to trip you up, it's going to make you want to quit, it's going to make you want to run, it's going to be the one that wants to make you just give up, it doesn't ever help you grow. It keeps you small. It keeps you in this dark space, in this closet, right? And your soul is the one that wants to grow, wants to trust, wants to learn, wants to see what you're made of, because it's then that you start believing these positive things about yourself and what you're capable of, and not living in fear of what you're afraid you can't do, right? And so in the moment where you think, I don't know what to do, I can't do this, this is where you invite in what? The miracle of the universe to enter. Help me see another way. Inner guide, show me the way. I clearly am not certain in this moment. Please show me the way. You can't really ask another person or even a book to figure it out for you, because your actions are what you're responsible for. If you go out and you ask somebody for help, they can give you their own opinion, but that doesn't mean you're going to take back and it's going to be effective for you, right? So your relationship with your inner guide is so, so, so important. Now, when your ego is tripping you up and freaking you out, you go back to who? You go back to the inner guide, the creator, the universe, your guides. I need help. Like, I am needing help right now. And show me the way. What's the right next action step? And when you have that relationship built with spirit, with inner guide, you know you can count on it every single step of the way. The words will come. The situations will come. The forgiveness is transpired. And judgment detox that I know last week I said I'm almost done. Well, at the end, she goes through a 5-day judgment detox. And, well, I'm going to tell you, you go one day at a time, but I found at day 3 that I was in it, the situations of people that I had brought forward on day 1 to ask forgiveness for, I didn't even realize what had transpired, but what had transpired was I had the opportunity to open my heart and see compassion with a heart of compassion and see things in a different way. I was able to step out, even in this, I was able to step out of being the role of a victim, because that's not what I wanted. I long ago said a prayer, please help me to see this differently. I don't want to keep stumbling on this. I don't want this to continue to affect me on a daily basis, my thoughts, my feelings, my growth, stunt my growth, and of course my abundance in life, because our emotions are what are going to feed us or block us. And the miracle happened, and I didn't even know it happened until after I was like reflecting, because reflection is important. So before we go any further, let's reflect on our week of abundance last week. And as I said, anybody freak out like I did? Well, not me, my ego did, but it was really really interesting, because I have done this before. But what happened is, whether it's going through your self-love or relationships, or even, the energy around money, you tend to have your same default patterns, right? And so I don't want to, I'll burst your bubble into thinking like, okay, once I'm done with this book, everything's better and I'm just in this evolved. No, you're still a human. You still are going to have the same things that trip you up. You just are better at recognizing it. They don't totally derail you. They don't make you like quit jobs because you can't do it anymore. Your inner fears don't make you lash out at people because you want to project on them and you're the victim. You become more privy to realizing, this is that same old baloney that I have dealt with in the past. I know this. And inner guide, show me the way. I forgive myself for going here again, and show me the way. And you go back to using your, go to your journal, go to the things that work for you. You come back to what you've already learned, because in 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, or like me, the third time through this, here's my ego trying another angle, but I know it. I just had to get back on my, get back using the tools to bring me back in alignment rather than staying in fear. Does that make sense? Using your tools to bring you back in alignment with truth rather than staying in fear. If you are feeling negative, if you are feeling anxiety, if you are feeling worthless, if you are feeling a poverty mentality, if you are saying, I don't have enough of this, I am poor, if you are talking that way, what are you reinforcing? Are you reinforcing the lack, or are you reinforcing the abundance that you're calling in? Because whatever you're talking about is energetically a match for you. So if you're just here chirping over here, or thinking negatively, or talking negatively, or whatever, feeling negatively, this is what you're attracting. So check yourself. Check yourself. I'm not going to be there and be like, oh, lack mentality, look at you. I will, and those are what people around me have to go through, but I'm not around you guys all the time. This is for you to realize, am I cheating on what I want? Am I cheating on my higher desire? So in the world of abundance, am I cheating on the idea that I want to be, whatever, you want your bills paid, you want to pay off your home, you want to be a self-made millionaire, you want to launch a new business, you want to be able to create more business within your role at work, you want to close the deal, you want to be able to pay your car payment or buy a new car. And if you are thinking anything about your current state that it's not in alignment with that, you're staying there. You're staying there. So the other day I'd put like my top 5 gratitudes, and I wouldn't say top 5, they're 5. And, ultimately what envelopes all of my gratitudes is my relationship with spirit, because without that, I try to do life alone. And everything that I'm grateful for is because I've co-created with the universe. And so I put on there once, like my car, right? And I am very grateful for my car. Well, this is an abundance factor. So if you got your dream car out there that you want, okay, don't be giving up on your dream. What you do, instead of thinking about this old clunker that I have and I really want that, is you're grateful that you even have a car, or that you have this dream you continue to think about on your vision board. You look, you know what car you like because you always are looking at it driving past you, and or the home that you like, or the raise or the promotion that you want. You know what you want, but if you go back here and you worry and fear it, then you're not an energetic match. So instead of that, you focus on what it is you want, and then the more you stay in a positive vibration of that abundance of whatever it is, you call it nearer and nearer and nearer. And I would say 3 years ago, as I'm driving, whatever I was, it wasn't an Escal Cadillac, but that was ultimately what I wanted. And the universe knew that, and I knew that. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. But I didn't ever say, I'm never going to have that. I knew I would. I just didn't know when or how. And that's the thing, is when it comes to healing, when it comes to transformation, you get so caught up in the hows. Stop that. That's for God to figure out how, not you. You just need to know what it is you desire. What is it you desire more? And if it's coming from a positive, joyful place, I know that when I have and I acquire this, I'm able to do more with myself. When I'm in a joyful state, boy, I'm able to serve more for you and universe and X, Y, and Z. And so, my car does that for me. So if you guys are wanting to say, oh, car, that's materialistic, baloney. That's a judgment. That's an ego shot. That is not true. I love feeling safe. I love hauling as much shit in my car as I can. It brings me deep joy. I love being able to have my kids feel safe. I love being able to pack in, if I'm going to go on a road trip with family or friends, or even I can bring around everybody in my office if I wanted. I love that. And I like a shiny black vehicle. And so, when I get in and I am getting my intention right for starting the day and literally in my heart saving the world as best as I know how, when I am in my vehicle jamming out to my musical, and most of it is chanting and it's gospel and it's super fun stuff, I love being able to do that in there because I'm warm and I'm safe. And so it is one of those things that I am not apologetic for at all, and neither should you. This is the fun thing about life, is being really proud about those new shoes, being really proud about the things that you have. And it might be a really great pair of socks. This doesn't have to be monstrosity things, but if you want and desire monstrosity things, be unapologetic about it. Boy, abundance, the ego, myself included, has us all tripped out on judging one another on what people have, and you think, I can't have that. Well, that's a this-sided thing. That's a negative thing. You can acquire all of the things. So last week, if you're still feeling hung up on that, if you still are finding yourself saying things, I can't do that, I'm not an energetic match for that, that'll never happen to me, please, sweetie, know that that is your ego talking. Your inner guide can help show you another way. And so if there's something that you want and you're just not sure how to get there, first invite in a spiritual miracle to help you to solve that. And I'm a writer, right. And so one thing that I've learned is for you to go down and write, and Gabby guides us through that. Why are you not an energetic match for that? Go back to your old business that you learned. And why is it that you don't feel like you can have that? When other people, you can look around, other people are driving the car, having the house, doing the job, acquiring the business, blah, 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 blah. So why can't you? That's you. That's not them. That's not. And now how you were born, that's nothing. That is an energy that you are continuing to carry on. And it's your responsibility. If you want to shift it, call in a higher power to help guide you and do your work, girl. Do your work. I'm sorry. We have some fine gentlemen on here too. That was my fault. All right. Did I talk about that long enough? Because that, I think, is an important topic, because money is not everything. Don't get me wrong. But Money is the currency in the world we live in. And money does buy you things that bring you joy. And you should not feel bad about wanting to buy the best organic food and provide the best holistic care and, want to have more and strive for more. You should not feel bad about that. Energy is an exchange of money. And just like the week prior, we were talking about relationships. You want better relationships, but it's not about blaming the other person. It's how can you be an energetic match for better relationships? Money is energy. So how can you be an energetic match to call in the things that you desire that is going to raise your vibration, that's going to help you to heal so you can be of better service to the planet? That is divine. That is divine. Next week, this coming week. Now, if we move on, and if there's any questions on that, please let me know. We move on. The day 35, which would be today if you're on track, is looking back at the exercises of this past week and how you've changed. Read your journal, because it's not the big things, as Gabby says. It's not the big shifts like, well, I'm not there yet. It didn't work. It's not that. It's the little shifts that cause the miracles. And so as I was going through the actual little things in Judgment Detox, I'm just going through the work. I'm going through the meditations. I'm doing the visualizations. I'm doing it. And it was a few days later, I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. This is one of the beautiful things I love about working with energy work. So when you start hanging out with things like this rock, no, beautiful. Thank you, Lord, for creating rose quartz. I have it everywhere. I have it under my bed. I have it in the corners of my home. I have it in my office. I wear it in my bra. I have it right here sitting with us because it's bringing on an energy of love and acceptance and forgiveness. I want that energy around me all the time. Color therapy is one of those things that just flips the switch. I'm like, did that just change? I'm definitely responding different. And so these little subtle shifts that we're doing is exactly that. You're choosing to say yes and you're moving forward. Thank you for that miracle. Week 6, guys. Are you ready to carry this out into the world? Are you ready to work the miracles, be the miracle, be the light? Are you ready to raise the vibration and be the light at your office space, or at the school you work at, or at the gym that you go to, or in your own home, or at the daycare, or at the at the club, or at the group that you go to, or at the park? Are you ready to be the light? Because the work that we've led up today is, yes, for you, but I would be mistaken if we separated you from the greater consciousness. You are part of all of that. And so as you heal, as you choose to do the work for yourself, and you encompass that, how are you relating to the outside world is you become a teacher of that. So who's all ready to be teachers with me? In your own way. It's not about being like everybody else. It's about being just as you are and speaking the truth, being the light. Even if you work at a bank, being the light, being the light, being the light. So, as the little quote here on that first week, it says, if you are feeling helpless, help someone. Because at that moment, you're not helpless anymore. You're actually taking action on that. So think about it like that. How are you helping someone by using these principles and sharing that mission of, you know what, we can change the world together. It takes one person at a time, but when we work together and we're all vibrating at a healing, forgiving, loving frequency, that changes everything. Changes everything. When you let go of the old ego mentality of being the victim or attacking, you are changing how people also receive you, right? You just don't allow it to happen. You become the light in that situation. So if the world is a dark place in certain nooks and crannies or in broad places, what do you represent? So when we bring our worldly fears to our inner guide, We are led to find power in powerless situations. We are guided to seek solutions rather than focus on sadness. We are guided back to love. Subtle daily shifts towards love help us reposition our focus and experience miraculous perceptual shifts. And returning to your truth every day with these practice steps that you've been learning, returning back to them every day because you want it like it's your job. There is no greater work that you can do than connecting your oneness to truth, right? Who you are to truth. And as you choose to not deny the fear, live in ignorance and just pretend it's not there, right? You rather see fear as an assignment to heal, assignment to call on a greater power, assignment to tune in to the infinite wisdom and what is that, and learn as you master that because you understand it, because it is your story, because it is your lesson, you're able to share that with the world. And if you're right now in any ounce of you feeling, I can't do that, I can't do that, that's too big, that's your ego, sweet thing. That is your ego talking to you. So here you go. I want you to picture that little girl or little boy self, or picture your child, and I want you to tell that little girl, little boy, you can't do that. You wouldn't do it, would you? Your little person self has a dream of helping the world, saving the world. They just haven't figured out how. Would you ever tell them, no, you can't? No, because you can do anything you want. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you are on the planet, what your role is or what you think your role is. You can change the vibration of the planet by you being you. So don't let that ego tell you anything less, okay? Being a miracle worker is a practice of personal growth that leads to worldly transformations. The true purpose of this work that we've been doing, the true purpose of this work is to heal your mind so you can have a greater effect on the world, which is what I was just talking about. When you change who you be and how you're being, that has a ripple effect on the rest of the planet. Period. When you change that Facebook or that social media post from a negative, ranting, narcissistic, ego-based fear, and instead you choose to say nothing, or inner guide, what can I say instead of that? You raise the vibration of the planet. It doesn't mean we don't trip up. It doesn't mean we don't have dark times. Like, we're not pretending like we don't still have fears here. But we have tools that allows us to heal them rather than advertising them. That old saying, misery loves company, right? You're going to have people that are inadvertently negative, Debbie Downers, trying to bring you down, and you get to choose, do you want to rise above this? There was a question on that last week or the week before. Do you want to choose to go down to that level and talk about it? And what does that feel like when you know there's another way, right? No, you can be an uplifter. You can be an uplifter of truth and the light. It doesn't mean like you're there like forcing people to do what you want, because that is against the law of allowing, right? But you don't have to collaborate with that low energy. You might say, let me give you an example. Somebody says to me, I want to do that. That's great. That's what I want to do, but I just don't see how it's possible. I've never done it before. I don't think that's possible. We can't ever do that. And it's like, I think we're missing out on the miracle, right? And if you and I wanted to go run a marathon tomorrow, would that really be possible? No. If we wanted to eat the entire elephant, and that's so horrible. I'd never eat an elephant. I love them. Would we be able to do that in one bite? No. Okay, so let's take one bite at a time. Let's start training for the marathon. Let's start acting like you have possibilities and miracles are natural. Let's call in our inner guide and how we can heal that ego-based fear of I can't, into I can, I believe I can, show me the way. You can be that light, for example, and it might be 1,000 other ways. Not might be, it is. Why do you think I have the world of inspiration in my bottle today? Yep. Okay. So the ego has crafty ways of keeping us from serving the world by convincing us we're helpless. That is so baloney. The spiritual connection you have ignited is the greatest power you have to offer. So go back and say, you know what? I read this book. How many of you have said that? I'm reading this, I'm doing this course. You are being a miracle worker by just planting and sharing those seeds of truth, because you know someday somebody's going to say, what are you talking about? What is that you were doing? Oh my gosh, let me show you. You're speaking from truth. You're speaking from light. You're speaking from an infinite wisdom. And it's always going to be true. So, yeah, it's the most prominent healers, teachers, and leaders are those who said no to fear and chose spirit as their guide. Miracle workers like none other than Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa are powerful examples of people who chose to turn their pain into their purpose of spreading love and transformation. Why can that not be you and I? It can. We can. We can choose to look at our world of pain and turn it into a purpose of, you've been learning the tools to transform that and heal that, and you can teach and guide and lead others too. These miracle worker leaders made such a huge and lasting impact on the world because they tapped into a collective resonance. They tapped into a universal power. They tapped into the miracle minded energy that is right there as an opportunity for all of us. So right when you don't believe a miracle is possible, you call on the miracle. Each time an individual chooses love over fear, that person becomes a bridge for all the others who choose to follow on that path. You shine your light. You're able to guide others to move out of the darkness. You build a bridge so others can follow the path that you've been on. They're going to have their own path. They're going to have their own stories. But it's in the story of I am desiring more and forgive more and less fear. That is the bridge that you are building by speaking up, by sharing. This week, we take this conscious decision more seriously, understanding the effects our choices have on the world. And then Gabby goes into a great story of Dipa Ma, who had a lot of tragedy in her mother, her children dying, her husband dying. And instead of being succumbed to depression and a lot of the things that would come with that tragedy, she became willing to receive help. And in her dream state, which is where your inner guide will speak a lot to you in your dream state. If you don't feel like you remember your dreams, please ask for that. Ask for that miracle. I'd like to be more connected to what my inner guide tells me in my dreams. Spirit, show me the way. And you will start doing that. I just slept with a piece of labradorite stone about this big under my pillow because that's what I wanted. I wanted to be refreshed for you guys. God. What is going on? I wanted to be refreshed for you guys this morning, and I slept with a piece of red calcite, literally a sphere, huge, next to my side, because I wanted to also relieve some of the adrenal fatigue that my body's experienced, the stress that I've went through this past week, this past day, this past 2 days. And the red calcite is amazing for helping to balance that. And I sleep on a biomat. I use these things in my sleep. I mean, what else are you doing, right? So inner guide, show me the way. And that's what this sweet thing, Dipa Ma, began getting messages in her dream. And actually Buddha appeared to her in her dream. And what happened is she decided to transform her sorrow into learning the practice of Buddhism and learning the practice as healing and awakening. And the goal of this story is to teach you that when the teacher is ready, the students will appear. When you decide that you are ready to be the light, even if it's a little one, guys, even if it's a little one, when you decide, the students will appear. You just need to make the decision. You don't need to know how. You don't even need to know what. If you want to start pinpointing and narrowing down who your audience is, you've missed the miracle, because there's your ego trying to control the shit out of it again. And that's not what it's about. So allow the miracle to set in and say, I am willing to show up. I know a truth. I can be that truth. Just be it. You don't need to really worry about what to even say, because the words will come when you trust that you are divinely guided. Get it? Does that make sense? Like, that's the best part, is you don't need to worry about how. When the teacher is ready, the students will appear. Just as when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready for more learning, boy, oh boy, that teacher will show up. If you listen to your inner guide, you will know where to go, what to say, and what to do, as the Course says. Teaching love requires no level of expertise. And if you're right now, well, I'm not teaching love, it's all love. The umbrella that we live under is love. Anything less than that is going to be fear. And we call fear judgment. We call fear pessimism. We call fear anything other than love. So when we say love, that is what A Course in Miracles is bringing you back to the love of all. So all that is required to teach is that we have a desire to serve and heal. That's all. If you truly have a desire to serve others and heal, that is the only requirement. All of the others are details that the universe and God are there to deal with. They'll show you the way. Do you trust that? Do you believe that? That's the only factor. Because if you don't, you're going to cheat on that and say, but, it's just not going to line up, right? You just got a desire to serve and heal, and then forgive yourself when you trip. It's not complete condemnation, like, geez, I'm just never going to get this. No, I forgive that thought. I forgive. I'm doing my best, and I want to serve. I want to serve in a greater way, in a greater capacity. Spirit, show me the way. Inner guide, speak to me in my dreams tonight. How can that be? What is it that brings me the most joy? And start with where you're at. Start with where you're at. Remember these 4 steps, and you'll learn to follow your true calling. You ready? Everybody ready? Number 1, your purpose is to heal your mind. I wanted to focus on others, not myself. Boy, have I said that a time or two. Why do you think I became a doctor? So I can heal others, not myself. And boy, did I learn wrong. Limited capacity there, especially when you're a business owner. I have to work on my shit every day. And so it's interesting when I find myself around others who don't think they need to work on themselves, and they get irritated when they have somebody come into their life and say, that's you, not them. You need to work on that. Sounds like you got a problem. Sounds like you've got an insecurity. Sounds like you have a fear. And instead of taking responsibility of like, I have something that I need to work on? Really? Yeah, we all do. Your purpose, number 1, is to heal your own mind. And I love that, because even though there's ego resistance, like, nope, I'm perfect, I don't need to do anything. That's such a baloney lie. Oh my gosh, what's on the other side of that, and that transformation? That isn't always easy, because you got to admit you're a part of your problem. You begin seeing the solution, and the solution is, number 2, continually witnessing and surrendering the fear that blocks your purpose. The solution is number 3, listening to your inner guide and trusting in the path. Number 4, choose love and know you're changing the pattern of the world. So I'll repeat these, because this is you, miracle worker. This is you. I am talking to you. Your purpose is to heal your mind first. Your purpose is to heal your mind. Number 2, continuously witness and surrender the fear that blocks your purpose. What? Why does that keep coming up? I'm not good enough. I don't have the words to say. I can't set it up the right way. I can't write the book. I can't inspire the people. I can't, help the parents. Fill in the blank. Continually witness and surrender. Inner guide, I'm feeling that today, and I know that's not true. Show me the way. Number 3, listen to what your inner guide says and trust in the path. Trust in the path. There wasn't anything wrong with you tripping up. It was another way to reinforce where you're going. And number 4, choose love and know you're changing the pattern of the world just because you're choosing this. What is this? Really, what is this? What is this that we are gathered, that I just put myself out there to say, I'll do this. Like, this is easy work for me. When I say this is easy work, it's not always easy saying, okay, I'm going to get my butt out of bed. I'm going to prepare. And my kids are like knocking on the door. Like, that's just schematics. But what is easy is for me to show up and do my best. Because a long time ago, I decided I was going to be successful. And a long time ago, I decided I wanted to help people and all living things understand truth. And a long time ago, I decided that is with respecting this temple and treating it lovingly and aligning it with healing, because our first myth is that we can't heal. Aligning with that, and here I am today, still showing up, not knowing what's going to happen, but this, you guys, that we're a part of is the transformation, is what in my dear heart and my intention is to change the vibration of the planet one person at a time, whoever is showing up. And there's 90 registered in this group. Are all 90 of them on the same day? No, that doesn't matter. There's the intention. And I did not put any limitations on what I expected. I expected nothing. I expected nothing, and here we are. You are a part of that consciousness. You are a part of that mission, and you are changing the world in just you sitting here and listening. You're a part of that. In this, even if it seems like small shifts and your ego's judging that it's not big enough, you feel like you need to go back. It's your journey, right? So the judgment, I forgive myself for being so hard on myself and thinking it's not perfect. I say this every single day. Lighten the load. You're not meant to carry a burden that is not capable. Saving the world starts with the purpose is to heal your mind. Saving the world means you continuously witness and surrender the fear that blocks your purpose. Saving the world means listening to your inner guide and trusting in the path. And when you do that, when you choose love and know you're changing the patterns of the world, is when all of these things come together. Each day this week will awaken the miracle worker within you. Are you ready? So we'll break down some of the awesome exercises that you're going to experience throughout the week. And, at this point, you have raised the awareness of how tricky the ego is. And we want to say, no, it's not me that's tricky, it's my mom. Well, it's not me that's tricky, it's my boss. It's not me that's tricky, it's my customer. It's not me that's tricky, it's my coworkers. It's not me that's tricky, it's my spouse. It's not me that's tricky, it's my home. It's not me that's tricky, it's where I live. I mean, you've busted through all of those myths already. And if you're like, no, I'm still doing that, go back. It's okay, go back again. Because it's you that's tricky, it's your ego. Own that part of you that's in the shadow still, and shine that light of that inner guide and truth on it. So on day 36, this day is to help heighten the awareness and recognize the effect your ego has on your power to serve. So if you're thinking I can't serve, woo, we got to get back to the ego, right? And forgive that part. Each time you witness your fear on that throughout the day, you'll be led to remember that your purpose is to heal your mind, right? Heal that mind, heal that negative based thought. Let's get it out of the gutter so that you can in turn heal others through your inner guide guiding your life. Your inner guide, your God-like self. God-like. By now, you know on day 37 that your willingness just to show up that first day of witnessing, right? Your willingness on day 37 is going to be crucial to living the miracle-minded life. And the day 37, or like the day 2 of the week, if you will help you to surrender to the voice of your inner guide. You'll be more willing. The more willing you are, the easier it is to say yes to the inner call to serve. The next day, 38, the exercise on this day shift you from a me, this is me, this is what I'm here to do, into a we. And when I say we, you are working with the collective consciousness. We are here to make a difference. This is how I see it, but this shift will come through the onset of the day. The repetition of this moment-to-moment decision will be a subtle shift that creates lifelong change. By continuously calling on your inner guide for support, you'll be reminded of the we mentality. And this one can sometimes be a little bit heady, okay? And I want to give you an example of we versus me. When I think it's me, my inner guide reminds me that I'm being me-centered when I start hitting a wall, when I start not being able to see opportunities, when I start seeing nobody's really listening to me, when I start feeling like I'm not getting the response that I thought I would, and it's like, well, why is that? And it's like, oh, I made it about me again. And then I go back and I ask for forgiveness, and I call on my inner guide, I call on my angels to show me another way. God, show me another way. What is it that you would have me do? What is it that you would have me say? What is it that you would have me forgive? Help me to connect with that. And you become from a me focused to a we focused. That would be my best indicator of when you're being me, because I'm not God. I have God in me. I'm an extension of that. This body is my vehicle to spread that love. But when my ego trips me up and makes me think that this was my idea, and it's not even like I chose that consciously. It's like this, it's like somebody made you a quilt, and all of a sudden people are complimenting you on this quilt, and you're like, thank you. But you didn't realize there was an energy that you made it and not them, because it wasn't your intent until people start saying, oh, show me how you did that. Oh, you didn't, like, you made that. I saw somebody else just had the same one. And you're like, well, no, I didn't make it. Like, my aunt made it or whatever. And I'm using this example because the ego is sly as hell, like super sly. And I'm like, damn it, I did it again. I'm taking responsibility for this, and it's not me. And I forgive myself, and I go again. So the we versus me is that, in my words. Day 39's work will lead you to share your gratitude with the world. You're grateful for all you've come, right? You're grateful for this opportunity, for this day. You're grateful for Gabby writing this book. I'm grateful for her hardships that have actually, and I'm grateful that she decided, I'm going to start speaking up about it, which was just a couple of girls, which turned into a room full of people, which turned into, 50, 60 people to 100 people to 1,000 people to, where she is now. Did she ever see that was happening? No. She knew she wanted to. She didn't know how she was going to get there, but she didn't stop. She just started speaking up, and I am eternally grateful and that she is my mentor. So when you start leading to share your gratitude with the world, you'll write a letter of gratitude to a person or organization that has clearly impacted your life. And you might have done that through last week of abundance, of giving back to a person or an organization that has helped you. And the reason for that is you're showing the universe that, you're willing to exchange energy to bring back energy. Everything you put out there will come back to you. So if your ego thinks, ooh, you can't squeak out a few dollars in exchange for something you really value, then that is going to be an energetic disconnect with your flow of abundance that we're calling in for last week. So sharing your gratitude with others, you are going to be inspiring them to carry on their sacred path. Shining light on the accomplishments of others brings more light to the world. Practice on day 40, the next day, will go a long way to free you from the ego's chains. So the day prior, you wrote a letter of gratitude to a company or individual and organization. And on day 40, you write a letter of forgiveness. So putting a pen to paper is one of the most powerful ways to commit your intentions, right? The dullest pencil is much greater than the sharpest mind. So when you are writing things down for reflection and recall later, or that moment, it's always going to be a better practice than just trying to think you're thinking it up. All right, so these letters are like spiritual contracts that will support your energetic shifts. You'll be guided to write a letter of forgiveness to a person or organization you've been unwilling to release. Where are you holding back on, or do you need to have some forgiveness? So this letter will embody your willingness to let go of the ego's attack and awaken to a new clear mind. This clear mind is what you need to maintain constant contact with your inner guide and be of service to the world. The Course in Miracles teaches that miracle workers are students of love who have committed to sharing their positive perceptions with the world. Accepting your own healing is the first step. Accepting that you have something to heal And the first step to stepping towards becoming a miracle worker. The next step is to share that love through your thoughts, energy, and actions. And the exercises on day 41 then will help you accept the next phase in your spiritual development, which is to carry the message of love without expecting anything in return, right? You share it even if it's not received, because it doesn't matter. In the last day of this practice, day 42 will guide you to reflect on and honor your work and spiritual growth. You will throw a miracle party, invite one or more friends to join you in the celebration of you. And what are we going to do? We're going to party down in a week, virtually. And this is where I am going to ask all of you that have been participating. I would like you to bring forward, if you wouldn't mind, your testimonial. If you're feeling willing, and if you aren't wanting to expose yourself, send it to me privately and I'll read it to the group. And the reason for that is doing group work, which is a little bit difficult when we're virtually here, right? You think it's just you and these other names that maybe you know some and maybe you don't. Doing group work is going to be one of the more profound ways we can witness that we're not alone, that we can witness that we are more like our neighbor than we realized, and that we all want the same thing. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted for the person we are. And sometimes the hardest part is us accepting ourselves. And when we can't accept ourselves, it makes us judge other people, because we'd rather judge other people than judge ourselves, right? You've learned that. And so what I'll ask for you is, over this next week, we will meet next Saturday. And I want to have that as a day of reflection and celebration and sharing, if you're willing, sharing your story and what did you learn over this past 6 weeks, and how are you going to use that moving forward? What's your next step? Are you going to plan on showing up in a brighter way in the workplace of truth, of and I don't want to tell you really or suggest how you should show up, but I think between you and your inner guide, you'll figure out, how do I want to use this work? And so next Saturday we'll still get together for one last time and share those things, and share those ideas, and where we can, you don't realize that you're supporting other people by sharing your story. And so if you want me to share that for you, just send it to me and I'll read it aloud, keeping everything confidential. Or go ahead and just type it in once we meet, or on that day on the wall. All of those things are great. And one thing that I will ask, and I'll shoot you guys out an email too, is just asking for a testimonial of your experience of this, and what are some of the things that you learned working with me, of course, and working with this May Cause Miracles group, all of that. And so, yeah, there's just some little bit of prep work of us, paving the way for, as this group comes to a close. What's next? How many people are wondering what's next? There's always something next when you're dealing with me. One of the greatest ways that I learn is when I continue to do the work. So if you guys have any questions, of course, at this point, just throw them out here now. So I'm putting together Soul Expansion Day. That's what's next. Soul Expansion Day is a day that we are physically gathering together. Whoopsie, sorry, earthquake with my foot. I have this can go on for pages and pages of what's coming together, and it really is a beautiful, sacred space that is being created already. The intention is there, and if I just enlighten, some of it, we got some good music too. But looking at reflecting upon the individual that you carry along with you every day. What's the concept that you carry around and along with you every single day? And, if that would be, as you're learning your ego, where does that come from? And what are the things that are going to help you to lift that up? So what do you want to know about that. And some of this might not even make sense because, of course, we're going to be actually going through a program here. But for example, the world of forgiveness, oftentimes we find that, it'd be so much easier if this never happened to me. Anybody say that? It'd be so much easier if that never happened. I wouldn't have to deal with this, that person. But on the flip side of that, if that never happened, nothing would be the same. Nothing. Not the twinkles that you see, not the opportunities that you have right now. Nothing would be the same because and the thing is the longer you sit and think about, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have to be here. You're just fighting with what is. And so where can you experience an understanding, a deep, profound space of even coming to gratitude for that person, that situation? Gratitude, not like, yay, that was amazing, that felt great, and it was the worst thing in your life. That is not what I'm talking about. It's having a deep, profound gratitude, knowing that that was a part of the process. That is a part of the process. And so that will probably take half the day that we're going through on Soul Expansion Day. But really, if our calling is to become more godlike and understanding and being this umbrella of love and looking down from love, how do we cultivate that? How do we cultivate that when we are living in a pressure cooker? How do we cultivate that when I'm about to continue on the rest of my journey and I felt a little bit of a shift, but not enough? Where is this going to come from, you guys? The teachers are all around you. Soul Expansion Day is creating and immersing you. I'm sorry my kids are going insane, but it's immersing you in this container of awareness. Awareness that is me? No, we have a whole spiritual network that is joining us and will be called on. And that is probably the most groovy thing, because that is where you connect to those crevices in your side of your soul that you are longing to be aware of, and you just aren't quite sure how to get there. Or you get glimpses and you don't know how to get yourself back. So we'll be tuning into those. What are those inner truths that are ready to be revealed so you can own your place in this life? So you can own where you're moving forward. And why do you want to move forward? Why is that important to you? So how does your story heal? How are you going to get to that point, right? And so we'll be working and chopping down all of these myths and getting really close. If that freaks you the heck out, it's very loving. It's not that it's not going to be challenging. It's not that it's not deep work. It is. And that's, my friends, when I said, I don't know, rewind a little bit earlier, when I said showing up as like the 4 steps of becoming a miracle worker in here, your purpose is to heal your mind. Your purpose is to heal your mind so your soul can expand. And that is what Soul Expansion Day is all about, is witnessing, knowing, recognizing, and healing and expanding from that in a container, in a group. Because when you realize that even as much as you feel isolated because your experiences in your life are what separate you from other people, you're going to realize it's not the experiences that separate you, it's your ego that separates you. We all want to come back to oneness, and spirit is the only way. There's no human, there's no drug on the market, there's no diagnosis that's going to fix and heal that. Human beings are the way to heal other human beings. Human beings and our soul and our connection with spirit is what is going to transform this earth, and it already is. 2018 is an awakening like no other. And if you're not feeling a little unsettled, just tune into it. Ask, what is this? What am I here to do? There's no coincidence that this all started, and ta-da, here we are entering this vortex of energy that is calling on us to rise above the pettiness, rise above the judgment, rise above the pain, rise above the feeling of a victim, and call on a power to ignite us to rise above into truth and bear witness to where the forgiveness needs to happen. Because with you and with spirit, we can be the change that we want to see. So I don't want anyone ever to say, I want to see a difference, I want to be a difference, and you don't seize the moment to work on yourself first. When you project out and point fingers, that is where you are ready, my friend, for a big old judgment detox. So, thank you. The things that I've witnessed with other people, mostly myself, is what makes this all so impactful and real for me. And so Soul Expansion Day, it's not a matter of if you should be there. It's a matter of, it's one of those things that everybody would take something from. But I trust that the only people that are going to show up are the ones that are ready to answer the call. And that's February 3rd. It's going to be in Duluth. And it's from 8 to 4. Lunch is provided. It's $125 for the whole day. And I'll post the link in here so then everybody knows where exactly you can sign up and register. If you're not registered, please get on that because that's where it counts, right? And contact me so through that registration site. And because there's other people working on this behind the scenes besides me on making sure that everything falls in alignment and your space is reserved. And yeah, so that would be what's up next, but stay tuned for more. There's always more. So let's do a little closing meditation. Sit up, palms up. Deep breath in through your nose and release through your mouth. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Thank you so much. Thank you for the vibration. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for the awareness. Thank you for the forgiveness. Thank you, Spirit, for showing up to lead us to this moment in time. May we know in our souls there is no such thing as a coincidence. And when we say we're ready, our teacher will always appear for us because we trust that you will do the best for us. And we also know that if we are being called to serve in a greater capacity, may we know that when we decide that those around us that need it the most are there. Those in our own homes, our own children are our greatest assignments. But when we choose to look at ourselves first, heal our own minds, heal our own patterns, and infuse it with love, that is the best service we can provide to the world, is working on ourselves first. It's not about projecting onto other people. It's about coming home and healing ourselves, healing those intricacies of our soul that have been shadowed over. How can we shine the light on it? Show us the way, please. We ask you this now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Okay. So, yes, this is serious work. Yes, what we're being called to do is serious. Maybe more now than ever before. And it's not to make you feel overwhelmed at all. It's remembering step one is to heal yourself. That's the best thing you can do for the planet. So if you're ready to do a little more healing yourself, I'll see you next Saturday as we close this group, and I'd love to see you at Soul Expansion Day in Duluth. So any questions? I'll leave this up for a bit. Any little comments, anything anybody wants to shout out to me while I'm here live? I totally love verbalizing questions or answers or suggestions or anything. Anybody want to do a little angel card flip? Because I do. All right, Universe Has Your Back. If you have not read that book, you should. Universe Has Your Back is one of Gabby's books. So you can use cards as a way, like a daily devotional, inspirational tool, right? And so if we just ask, so here's all the cards. We'll knock on them for the group, and we ask God to infuse this light, angels and guides for us all. What is it that you would want us to know? And so as I shuffle these, I trust that that is the divine message that's coming forward. And be sure you do that, like if you have a card deck, because you don't want to have any other people's energy left behind from before. You want to be very specific when you're talking to a higher light power on what you're asking it. Otherwise, I mean, it's all about intention. So here we go. Here's our card 1, because we're going to do a 3 card. And the immediate past, it's for all of us. There's going to be a vibration, a piece of this for all of us that's going to make sense. So here's what our guides are telling us. The immediate past, the energy of that. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. I mean, what have we even been doing? Could this be even more spot on? Love it. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing. My faith has the power to turn conflict into growth and fear into love. Thank you. Love that. Yes, that's all about it. Your story and your faith in healing that story for what it truly is has the power to heal, it has the power to grow, and it has the power to serve in the magnitude of love. That is all what we are doing and moving forward into. So what is current, present moment? I'm so excited about this. Current, present moment. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. So anybody who's freaking out and saying, I don't know if I should do it, I don't know if I should move forward, I don't know if I'm ready, the more intention and more energy that you bring to your faith and your connection with spirit, the more fearless and free you are, like a little hummingbird. So thank you, Spirit, for showing us not only it is our story that heals, and when we choose to stand in faith and know that we can be using our faith and our intention on, like, okay, what am I going to do with this beautiful mess that I've been through? You become fearless and you become the leader. You become the healer yourself. And moving forward, what can Spirit give us as we choose to move forward in this? When I think I've surrendered, I surrender some more. And what this means for me is when I think I've figured it out and I've got all my tools, when I think I figured it out, I realize, here I gotta go again because I just got cocky. My ego got in the way and I need to dip down in and start over to going back to my faith. I gotta start all over again and look at this in another dimension, look in this another way, another lens, another way of looking at how is my faith again. How do I come back to my meditation chair? How do I allow my guides to guide me? How do I allow my inner guide to talk to me? Because it's my faith in that system that has the power to turn trauma into healing. That is the conflict at work. That has a conflict with your customers, conflict within your home into growth, and fear of I'm not enough, fear that I can't do this work, fear that I'm not sure what's the next step, I'm not sure what I should do, fear into love. When you use your faith and you surrender again, you're going to come back to it. And the more energy and intention you have on that, here we go again, is I bring my faith, the more intention and energy I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. And when I surrender some more. This is a continual cycle. Like, oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful card pick. Thank you for being a part of this, because this message is for you as much as it is for me. So, you guys have an amazing day. If you just tuned in later, I would suggest this is a session for anyone. I don't care if you haven't even started on week 1. Once you say, everyone that's on here and that will be joining. Like, this is a day, this is a powerful one. So get ready to change the world with me, everyone. Like, this is such an amazing opportunity. The miracles that we are, the things, the story that we are is a story that is going to heal the planet. When you choose to heal it for yourself and you realize what's on the other side of that is forgiveness and love and acceptance for that of which you are the miracle. You embody the healing that the planet is waiting for, that your neighbor, that your child, that your loved one, that your spouse. And our greatest assignments aren't out there. Our greatest assignments are right around us. Start with yourself. Have an amazing day. Thank you, everyone. Truly, thank you.